In October 2025, with my friend Lubo Marhavi, an expert in soil conservation, we met people who care deeply about our country's soil and water. In the Olka River Basin, we saw and analyzed the devastating impact of logging on the soil and water in local forests. We were joined by the representatives of Prešov region, local municipalities, forestry and nature conservation agencies of the Slovak Republic. They all witnessed the alarming drying out of landscape and water sources in the areas they manage. On the same day, we looked at the restored forest roads and the Olka River watershed locations we've managed to bring back to life. Take a walk with us. We'll show you what speeds up the water runoff from forests and then how to reverse it so that water stays where it's most needed, in the soil and in the land.
Look, it's like this everywhere.
One of the main and most obvious causes of higher water runoff is the compaction of forest roads and erosion ruts, which act as drainage channels. Compaction often begins as early as during forest planting, and many forest tracts stay unused for years. Erosion ruts deepen as timber is hauled out or during forest thinning. Forest access roads are wounds that go deeper with every following year. Eroded tracts are washed away by rainwater, of which up to 80% runs off these compacted roads and out of the forest. This happens after every single downfall. Eroded logging roads in a 15 to 20-year-old forest.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tracks, one next to another. These 6 roads drain the forest. Now let's all think about it. Can it stay this way?
The roads in this forest are about 30 to 35 years old. Over time, erosion gullies can reach spectacular depths. To give you an idea, we are standing at the bottom of a track in a forest that has been logged for 60 to 70 years without any road restoration.
According to scientific measurements, 1 cubic meter of soil in healthy landscape contains between 200 to 500 liters of water. Water is held in soil pores, these tiny holes, some small, some large. These pore spaces serve as drinking water reservoirs and distribution channels to groundwater, plant roots, stream sources, and so on. When these channels are cut off, the water flows out and runs over compacted soil. This is the culprit why the water is flowing out. These disrupted soil pores create a huge problem we don't even realize.
We've been draining forests for many years now, several decades in fact. The problem is that for at least 20 to 25 years, average temperatures have been rising, and as a result, evaporation is also increasing.
When the soil is dried out, the water from roots doesn't seep into the ground. Instead, the root sucks it back, and the plant uses it for photosynthesis or transpiration. So even in the summer, the water doesn't reach the groundwater.
According to long-term measurements by the Slovak Hydrometeorological Institute, rainfall in Slovakia has been increasing since 1996. However, water runoff from the country has been decreasing for decades. This raises the question, where does the rainwater get? How is it possible that the flow rate of major rivers is decreasing when rainwater runs down the compacted forest roads? Another chart shows that the volume of water evaporating from the land has been increasing every year since 1996. This is largely because we prevent the water from seeping into the soil, thus restraining the sufficient water reserves to come about.
The land evaporates more and more water during vegetation cycles as the time goes by. Let me explain why. Imagine you work all day in a 30-degree heat. You don't get anything to drink all day. First of all, your performance would plummet. You wouldn't be able to get as much done. You'd survive for now because you're still in good shape. Even the forests will survive. But when some rain falls down after this time, that is, if you drink enough water in the evening, even 2 liters, your body wouldn't be able to use that water efficiently. Your body was stressed and lacking water all day. You'll either sweat or pee it out quickly. That's the water plants use for evaporation to cool down, but they can't control high summer temperatures to prevent the land from overheating. As these cumulative errors sum up and temperatures rise every year, we need more water for evaporation, and water reserves don't build up in the winter. All the precipitation in late May, June, July and August is used inefficiently in the environment. Plus, the volume is too small to create a microclimate. One day we get 10 millimeters of rain, the next day it's 30 or 28 degrees, and plants use all the water by the next day. And the land continues to dry out because there's no more water to seep into the ground.
As a result, water runoff from Slovakia has dropped by about 15% over the past 60 years. Measurements from neighbouring countries also show an extreme decline in runoff from major rivers. In the Czech Republic, runoff on the Elbe, the DJ, the Morava and the Oder rivers decreased by an average of 18% annually between 2011 and 2018. As compared against the data from the previous 50-year period. Water runoff from the Transcarpathian region has decreased by an average of 25% annually from 2011 to 2018, as compared to the period of 1961 to 2010.
The largest water reservoir in mainland is the soil, and here you can see it's bone dry. I measured the temperatures. The atmosphere was 37 degrees. The soil surface was 57 degrees. The soil 5 centimeters deep had 42 degrees, and 10 centimeters deep, it had 38 degrees. The difference between the soil and the air was 20 degrees. The soil is warmer than the atmosphere. If you look at the asphalt road, it's heated up to 54 degrees. While the air is 34 degrees. That's a difference of 20 degrees. The difference between the air and the soil lit by the sun is exactly the same as with the asphalt.
The water from reservoirs, that is, from the hills, is no longer flowing. That's what I was talking about. The streams and rivers have dried up. It's not because it was 30 degrees, the water doesn't have time to evaporate completely, but because there's no longer the water reserve. It's like a pool with a small hole. The stream of water is going to flow through the hole for a long time. No matter how much it rains now, more water will seep out through those holes, regardless how much precipitation there is. We'll have puddles of water everywhere, unless we take measures. Then everyone would have the false impression that there's enough water. It just rained, the forest ground is slippery, there's plenty of water. But if you look a meter down into the soil, you'll see there's no water left in that forest. The current soil volumetric moisture at the surface is 26.4%. So there are 264 litres of water in that top layer, if you imagine 1 cubic metre of such soil. Now look at the edge. There are many pores. The soil profile is already missing here, and even though it's only been a few days, there is no water left to seep in. 20.8%. And the ground is moist because of yesterday's showers. Now the bottom of the slope, even though it's sloped, it's 14%. All the rainfall from January through this period in the year 2025, we're at roughly 60 centimetres of soil profile, only 14%. That's 140 litres per cubic metre of soil, and that's nothing. There's one fundamental factor, aside from logging and other activities. Humans have significantly altered soil porosity across the continents. By changing soil porosity, we've restricted water infiltration. The result is the lack of water in the landscape. To me, that's the key factor. Of course, there are many more.
This experiment tested the resistance of compacted soil to absorb water. We simulated rainfall on both compacted and remediated soil. During the artificial rainfall experiment on compacted soil, the surface runoff reached as high as 80%. We repeated the same experiment on recultivated soil. The resulting runoff was 0%. All the water seeped through the soil pores into deeper layers. Our field trip continued along unused forest roads we had restored back in 2011. Beech trees of about 12 centimeter diameter had grown since then on some of these roads.
Foresters would recognize we're on a logging road. During the remediation, we didn't give it a second thought. We've been told, you can reclaim this, so we did. The access roads from the top down here and the logging road itself. About 3 or 4 years later, these beech trees were planted here. What is the practical impact? First, water will seep into the soil. Second, soil won't be washed out from the forest. It will stay here because it's needed here. We've heard from foresters that both water and soil are needed here for the trees to grow. That's the immediate effect. The long-term benefit depends on whether it's spruce, ash, oak, or beech. If it's 40, 50, 80, or 100 years. Look at those beech saplings. Look how they grow. Growing beautifully.
The forest in the Olka River Basin looked like this in 2009, before we restored the forest roads. This photo from 2013 shows the forest 2 years after the upgrade. It was carried out using patented technology in line with precise technical procedures. By fixing the forest roads, we restored the function of the compacted tracks and disrupted soil pores, so that rainwater and snowmelt would not run off from the forest, but would remain where it fell down, creating groundwater reserves. This is the 2025 aerial view of the same forest with its originally destroyed forest roads, 14 years after their restoration. Here is the opposite part of the watershed that has not been subject to restoration. From above, it is clear how the landscape has been devastated by logging, with the forest roads being extremely deep, drained, and dried out. In 2011, we restored forest roads and land, damaged by heavy machinery after logging in the Olka River Basin. We have created 4 lakes with a captivatingly diverse ecosystem. This was achieved via restoring the forest soil's ability to retain water and fill soil pores with rainwater. This provides plants sufficient water. Thanks to these water reserves in the restored forest above the lakes are filled year-round and the water levels remain nearly constant. This is a well-known method for maintaining water levels in bodies of water at a nearly constant level throughout the year. The larger the area of restored forests in watersheds, the more water is retained in the land-based water reservoir, the soil. In this way, the soil provides enough water for streams, rivers, lakes, and reservoirs. We need to apply this principle to the watersheds of reservoirs suffering from low water levels, such as Domaša and Starina. There is a simple solution for adapting the landscape to climate changes. We've seen that it's possible, and we know how to do it. Plants improve microclimate by their cooling effect and prevent the environment from overheating. These measures reduce the stress plants experience via overheating and mitigate excessive evaporation, which is their defense against increased temperatures and dry soil. By re-watering forests, fields, meadows, in short, the soil as a whole, the water loss through excessive evaporation and surface runoff are minimized. The landscape is no longer parched. The small water cycle and precipitation patterns are restored to normal, eliminating unnecessary periods of drought, water abundance, and cloudbursts. We've carried out land recultivation in several locations, and the effects are beneficial to this day. This was done in Czechia, in Transcarpathia, and in the forests above the village of Chahanovce near Košice. These measures have prevented soil drying as well as disasters such as sudden local floods.
Look at this. Nothing but rocks. You can't even dig here. The water will never seep into the ground unless we help it. This is what the forest road looks like after 11 years. It wouldn't have fixed itself if we hadn't taken the action we did here.
We are here today to acknowledge that the land ties it all together. We have a problem. I understand all the partial issues, but it's something different. What's important? We need to change our perspective. If we look at things as we've been used to and as we were raised, we won't be able to change anything.
There's no way we can't deal with what's up here, on this earth. If we were able to destroy it, we can also fix it.
I see a very clear connection between the problem and a possible solution. For me, the main challenge is how to convince the relevant decision makers at various levels of management to ensure funding for this specific solution. We have development projects in the region that are being held back by the lack of water. Take the Domaša reservoir, for example. Major investments in tourism were planned there. In the current situation where we lack water at Domaša, these investments and the tourism development are at risk. I very much appreciate the attention that is being drawn to this issue. The solution presented to us today is very efficient. There is a problem that must be addressed. This is one of the approaches we can take.
It's rare to meet someone of that age who has so much energy and drive to innovate everything around them. It was very inspiring.
It really opened my eyes. I truly didn't know forest roads could cause water runoff and how much they contribute to forest dehydration. This was a completely new information to me, and it really struck a chord with me. The Stara Lubovnia district has a serious water problem. Some villages are already running out of water. The water supply is rationed and shut off at night. We're dealing with this problem right now and it's urgent. That's exactly why I came here today, to learn something new. I hope you'll come visit us so we can apply these water retention measures there as well, because what I've seen here today is truly exceptional.
Based on today's demonstration of the water retention measures we saw here, I can say from my perspective that they have been and continue to be effective. The water stays in the forest stand, it retains the water, it does not run off, and surface runoff is reduced. It's great that we can see firsthand how nature responds after 10 or 15 years. The forest stand retains water. Apart from water, it also retains soil, so it serves an anti-erosion function as well.
It was interesting. You can clearly see that Štěvil Valo is dedicated to this and understands the topic well. It was useful and rewarding to listen to him. The idea of seeing the forest for what it really is indeed resonated with me. As one gentleman said here, if children play in their room, they should clean it up then. That's exactly what it's about. If we do something in the forest and want to take something from it, we should clean up later. All the things I've seen today, the effects of logging with some extent of destruction to the forest, and how it should be restored afterward, that is what we should think about. Once we follow the measures that Mr. Vallo presented to us, I truly think water will remain in the forest and gradually flow into the rivers. And not just during floods, but throughout the entire season, all year round. It certainly makes sense. It was great to see, at the beginning, the landscape left behind after logging, and then how it should be restored after logging.